So it's a pretty nice crowd here for the second game of the Abrahamson Classic. Of course, I'm here, as always, with Hall of Fame coach Wade Mitchell. Watched a nice game between MSJ and Otter Valley, and looking forward to another good one here. Proctor this year has purposefully upped the difficulty of its schedule to get themselves prepared for the rigors of the playoffs, and they bring out 5 seniors as starters. Their biggest issue, if it is one, is a lack of depth.
Lack of depth, yeah.
They probably run 6 or 7 out there in any given game. I don't know about you, but I never remember getting tired in a high school game.
Wow.
So, when you're 16, 17-year-old, you shouldn't be tired no matter what you do. Well, tip goes to Twin Valley, and we're underway.
He won
First shot off the mark, rebound by Logan Landon.
He won the state high jump this year.
Over to Nick Ojala, who's one of the Dream Dozen, into Logan Landon, who is an all Marble Valley League selection. Proctor has plenty of talent. That's not the issue in their top 6 or 7, but they don't have a lot of room for error.
Twin Valley is monsters out there. They are big.
They look pretty big. Nick Ojala penetrating the middle over to Gannon McCarran. Shot from the corner, up, and here comes Twin Valley again. Still no score with 6:53 left in the first. Joe Parker jumps that pass, or the cut rather. It's not likely that you'll see Proctor pressing very much, just given their lack of depth. You also don't want to see him get in any foul trouble. Good defense by Logan Landon. Another rebound by Logan. Proctor showing good hands on defense. Close out high at the left side. Three-pointer from the top of the key. Gets deflected over to Gannon McCarran, who pushes the ball up court. Nick Ojala for 3. And still there is no score. Proctor has some size as well out on the floor. I don't think that anybody ends up being 6 feet, under 6 feet, getting ready to check into the game is Joe Valerio, replacing Joe Parker. No score with 5:41 left in the first quarter. Typical of first games. Proctor now looks like it's in a bit of a zone.
Yes, Logan.
2-2-1 press. Proctor looks like it knows what it's doing against it. Gets Logan Landon right in the middle of that press. Prevents the trap on the side. Ball into Gannon McCarran. Joe Valerio out top. High screen from Logan Landon. Nice pop by Nick Ojala, and it seems that the Phantoms need to reset. Seem a little bit disorganized in this particular half-court set. Gannon with the dish, the assist to Andre Greb, and it's knotted up at 2 with 4:25 left in the first quarter. Proctor in the man-to-man. Screen away by Twin Valley, looking to post up. And here comes Nick Ojala with that patented runner off the glass that we've seen over the last couple of years.
That's a good no call there.
Up and good by number 23, Ethan Fox. Ball, nice passing by Proctor around the outside. Wide open shot for Nick Ojala. That's off the mark. Valerio looking for Gannon McKieran inside, and the ball's deflected out of bounds. It's white ball, I think, and I don't know if they're confused or just trying to steal a call, but I think confusion was more likely.
Yeah, I agree.
Good ball movement by Proctor. Swinging it around the outside, Kieran off. You often find early in games and early in the season that it's the jump shots that aren't going to fall. The adrenaline's pumping, and you don't have your first comfortable breath. Joe Valerio with the rebound leads the break. Andre Greb having trouble handling the pass from McKieran on the inside. Results in a turnover. Twin Valley up 7-4 with 2:27 left in the first. And now the rotation starts with Joey Parker coming back in the game, likely looking for Andre Greb. Proctor in that, what we used to call a dead man's corner.
That's a tough area to be in.
That's a tough spot to take the ball into, and you just saw why. Ball deflects off the inbounds pass off of Ojala and in now to Twin Valley. Twin Valley's looking to post up. Looks like feet were shuffled a little bit that time. In and out. And here comes Ojala. Joe Valerio all the way to the hoop, everything but the hoop.
Good movement, got it.
Proctor seems to be catching its breath a little bit. It's when the adrenaline wears off. Ojala up top, 1:21 left. Nice dish that time by Ojala to Logan Landon. Draws Proctor within 1 point with 59 seconds left in the first.
And that was a pretty play.
Foul that time on Logan Landon, his first. Logan's coming out for the last 48 seconds, and in comes Andre Greb.
Boy.
Proctor in a zone. Rebound over to Gannon McCarron, who goes all the way. Gannon's been very successful with that over the years. He's like a one-man fast break. Of course, he's set records in track. Now with 25 seconds left, Valerio takes the ball in. McCarron all the way to the hoop to Parker, and Proctor takes its first lead at 8-7 with 16 seconds left in the first quarter. I always like the idea of putting a little ball pressure on when you're getting them to bring the ball up with short seconds. And after a quarter where the offense wasn't exactly crisp, Proctor still managed to come away with an 8-7
You can see the
lead.
veteran play comes into play, like this last one down here. The veterans made the play, and it's going to be interesting. That little Valerio guy is fitting right in there nice.
Well, luckily for the Phantoms, while Joe Valerio was on the prior year, he did practice with the varsity the entire season.
Yeah, I know.
And so it's not as big of a transition as a freshman coming in as if you had been on the 8th grade team, so to speak. And in the interim, he had been playing JV with a couple of the other folks on the team. So I think Jake Eaton had this kind of planned out a couple of years in advance to make this transition a little bit better at this point. And
I thought you were going to say, and of course he played on the 8th grade team for the last 3 years.
No, he actually didn't do that. I think he might have been on the JV team the last 3 years, but
I've seen him a lot, I'll tell you.
But it is the established seniors who did the scoring in that quarter. Now, granted, Proctor I think expects a lot more than 8 points out of a quarter.
I think they'll accept that right here.
Yeah, I mean, anytime
It's
you take
a pretty good ball club.
anytime you take a lead. Proctor running a little bit of a flex right now. Joe Valerio for 3 off the mark. Foul by Nick Ojala. He came in late to that. That's one of those ones the refs are going to call no matter what you do.
The ref for the white sneakers.
And
that bothers me.
That bothers you?
It sure does.
Well, we'll put it on the list.
Not in uniform.
We'll put it on the list for sure. Not in uniform.
Not only that, but he's the head of the referees. So I guess he can wear anything he wants.
That's almost the exact same play that Nick Ojala got called on. He might have had all ball, but he came in late, and when you do that, they're going to make call that foul. Valerio out top, sets the offense, passes and screens away, all the way to the hoop for 2.
Did he play? Called his own play. Nothing wrong with that.
Proctor now in the zone. I don't know if it is a plan to play more zone this year or not. Proctor's been known traditionally for its man-to-man.
Oh, yeah.
Valerio off the mark.
That's white ball.
Yes, deflected off of Twin Valley. Ojala takes it in. Of course, Proctor in the home white going left to right, and Twin Valley in their away black. That was not a very good pass that time. Ball goes over to Twin Valley. I think they will take him shooting that
shot
ball.
all night to him.
Yeah, every day.
Yes, sir.
Nick Ojala all the way to the hoop. Doesn't seem that Twin Valley guards are able to move their feet quick enough to keep up with the Proctor guards. Ball deflected that time. Oh, second foul that time on Logan Landon. You know, if he had gone straight up with that, but he came down wanting to slap that ball to the ground and picked up his second foul. Gannon McKieran coming out. Hits the second, and Proctor is up by 3. Nice entry pass. That ball actually was kicked by a Twin Valley player, and they missed it. But that'll happen. Gannon McKieran getting ready to check back in after about a 3.5 second rest. I don't think that Gannon McKieran actually gets tired, however.
One day I'd drive over here and see him and a red car running. I believe it was a red car on it.
5:10 left in the second. 12-9, and Coach Eaton calls a timeout. I think he might be wanting to give his troops a little bit of a breather. Proctor clinging to a 12-9 lead. Proctor has 4 fouls, 2 team fouls to Twin Valley's 2. The only one in a little bit of trouble is Logan Landon with 2, if I have that right.
Yeah, you do. No. Nick Ojala's got 2.
So the two of the pivotal seniors have a couple of fouls. But because they're seniors, you hope that they do have an understanding of how to play with fouls, and that does happen. And it's going to happen a lot this year, I think. Twin Valley now with the zone. Nick Ojala, I think he can get that shot every day of the week. And you want to see more than a couple of passes before that goes up. One thing that seems apparent is that Twin Valley cannot shoot the ball.
Guards for sure.
Nick Ojala all the way to the hoop. It was important that time that Proctor did have 3 people up on the break. Then Twin Valley had choices to make about who they were going to get to, and
Nick puts that head down, you know where he's headed.
That's true.
Nick just happens to be another one of those coaching connections that I coached his father.
Of Quick snap pass across the Joe with the step in and the mid-range jumper puts Proctor up by 7 with 3:27 left in the second quarter. Low scoring affair at this point.
It's a good pace, so I like it.
Logan gave up baseline that time, and that there's no help when that happens. That's the problem. It's not the baseline itself. It's as the help can't get there. Logan Landon tracks it down.
Oh, Nick.
That's one of those times where you need to kick the ball. If you drew the double, you did your job, and the guy standing in the corner needs to be wide open. Logan getting a bit of a break, and in comes Andre Greb.
Logan dragging out there. Look at him.
That's all right. Tracks it down in the back court. And high screen. Ball turned over. Coach Eaton exercised over the lack of recognition that particular time. But no harm, no foul, and here comes Proctor with the rebound. Quick snap pass across the zone, and Proctor not hitting those outside shots as they can, but that'll come. 2:11 left in the first. Proctor up 16-11. I'd love to see a trap in that corner. Three-pointer off the mark. Got to look up with the pass. There you go. Oop, Joe Valerio with the air ball. Nice pass to Joe Parker, but he wasn't there.
Boy, a lot of
they just do not shoot the ball very well. You almost want to just pack the zone in, make them shoot it.
Yeah.
Good look and good shot that time by Nick Ojala. Andre Greb with the oven mitts that time.
Yep.
He had the layup. I think he was looking to shoot it before he caught it.
And his mittens on.
That's always a bit of a problem, but Proctor does have a 6-point lead with 42 seconds left in the first. I did not see that.
I didn't either.
He said it was a travel, but I'm not sure. But it doesn't matter what I think. Now, almost a steal that time. Now, Twin Valley looking for that last shot. Ooh, I don't. 6 seconds left. And Proctor does close out the first half with a 19-16 lead. You remember scores like that?
Yes, I do.
Back from the Women's League when they couldn't cross half court.
3-on-3.
It's a decent football game. Does not quite look like a basketball score to me.
They're still filling each other out.
And it's always that first game of the season. You just don't know. You aren't comfortable with where the points are going to come from yet. Even the seniors, they're not mixing the same. You have Proctor starts 5 seniors, but two of the 5, they got minutes the prior year, but not a ton.
You got to remember, they've only been on the floor 2 weeks.
That's right.
So it's been a long time since last spring.
And pretty much the whole team had been playing soccer right up until the 10th of November. So having again won their 2nd consecutive state championship.
Now, who does Proctor play tomorrow night?
Well,
MSJ or?
Well, it's gonna be MSJ.
Well, we've got to win this one first.
That's true. If they win, this game is far from over.
Well, that's right. I just figured they flip-flop.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, some do that. I was actually at a college tournament recently where all they did is it didn't matter who won. They just made sure that the each got to play each other, and it was a tip-off classic, not a tip-off tournament. So, but that's what they're doing here. So, and
stay right there. I'll go right by you.
for Twin Valley, Logan Park had 2, Dylan Howe had 3, Skylar Boyd had 4, Ethan Fox had 4, Brett Swanson had 3. For the Phantoms, Joe Valerio had 4, Andre Greb had 2, Joe Parker with 2, Logan Landon with 2, Nick Ojala with 2, 4, 6, 9 for 19. Some of those shots that weren't going in the first half are going to start falling, I think. Proctor playing in their home gym is obviously comfortable shooting here. And now that the adrenaline is worn off from the first half, likely we'll see a little bit better offense in the second half. So in a few minutes, we'll be back with you. Well, we're here getting ready to start up the second half. Proctor up by 3 points. Proctor looks like it's going with the starters. And I hear from the score that Proctor, Nick Ojala has 2, Logan Landon has 2 fouls. And so nobody's in terrible foul trouble at this point.
You got to mention earlier that we are bringing you this from the Elmo Bajani Gymnasium.
Proctor in his zone. Decent ball movement. Ball forced by Twin Valley. Tied up, and possession should go over to Proctor. And it does. Twin Valley in this zone press. It's a diamond and one. They look to trap in the corners at half court. But more importantly, it looks like they're just trying to speed up the pace of the game. Logan Landon challenging at the rim. Ball intercepted. A little bit of ball handling. Like to see a little bit more out of Gannon McCarron this half. He's one you're going to expect double digits.
Yep.
I think he's a walking triple-double between steals, rebounds, and points. Maintains his pivot foot, gets the ball over to Joey Parker. McCarron out top. Parker with that spin move that he loves, draws the foul. That right there is Joe Parker's move. Yep. That is his offensive move.
Oh, that's a great move.
It is, but that's it. and he's really good at it. But you can tell when he
free throw.
Hey, you know what? If they go in, yes, he did. It was a bank shot, and and some would argue that shouldn't count, but we do count them because it did go in.
Made them both.
Shot that time by number, I believe it was 23, Ethan Fox.
Twin Valley can't keep getting away with that cross-court pass. Somebody's got to get
Andre Greb all the way to the hoop, kicks it out to a wide-open Nick Ojala, who drains the three, puts Proctor up by 6. Joe Valerio getting ready to check in again. There was a walk in there. And that's Logan Landon's third. Got to be careful with Logan. He's got 3, and he. Good tie up that time by Nick Ojala. Possession stays with Twin Valley. Deep lob, and Twin Valley gets in its set. Proctor playing the zone.
It's a way to collapse. Nice D.
Close out. They
stay down, Cannon.
Both players, good hustle.
There you go, 10.
Brett Swanson and Andre Greb. Change of possession, and they call the jump ball, and here comes Proctor.
Yeah.
Logan, Gannon McCarron. Ball swung outside. Andre does all that work, gets the rebound, and then throws it in the stands. It's a shame, but good effort on his part. Ball deflected off Logan Landon, stays with the Wildcats.
Watch Swanson, off screen, straight over the screen. Again, back out. Good.
It's good to have a big guy like Logan Landon who you can leave in the post alone, guarding the other guy's big guy one-on-one. Then you don't have to worry about doubling. He's big enough and strong enough to bother the shot. That time, however, he didn't want to pick up that 4th foul, so he didn't get over there, and that was on purpose. Foul on the floor that time. I think that the pass might have been intended for Logan Landon, who fell down, but it landed right in the hands of Andre Greb. who went to the hole and was fouled on the floor. Nice pass on the inbounds, and Proctor converts an easy
Take that one.
That's up, Andre, that's you!
Ooh. That's going to be the third foul on Nick Ojala. He's
only got Logan down for 2.
Second.
I think he's wrong.
I do too. On Logan. You got him for 2 fouls?
Logan's got 2. Ojala's got 3.
They do not respect the shooting of number 15, and I don't blame him, because he has not come close to the barn door. First thing you got to do is catch the ball.
Yep.
I don't know that it's worth extending too far up, because there's been
They're not going to shoot from outside.
no demonstration that they can hit anything beyond the 3-point. They got 1 3-pointer the entire game. That's where they're doing damage right now.
Get killed on the board, boy! Good, Joey!
Oh! That is not a smart play right there. That is just not smart. And I guess Jay Keaton let him know it too. Ball was on the way. It would have been attempt at a 3-point play, but Joey Parker with the ball on the rim jumped up and grabbed the net.
No basket.
So no hoop, and it puts Gannon McKieran at the line for 2. It's both of them, and it was only the potential of a 1-point loss on that play. So it worked out. Nice pass by Gannon McKieran to Logan Landry, who popped out of the post.
Next ball.
That's what we were talking about that last game. The post person doesn't have to stand in there and wrestle with you. You can pop out and create space.
Yep.
Which is exactly what happened that time.
But give that to him.
And
Go again!
He got whacked pretty good.
that was, I think he was going for the ball, but I think he hit him in the eye, so. Coach Eaton over there checking out his starting center's situation. Unless he has a scratch or something like that on the eye, he's probably not going to be out for very long. But I'm pretty sure if he has... Proctor has extended its lead to 10 points. He had to come out, and we're going to see a 3-guard set come in with Nick Ojala. I have to say that with 1:47 left in the third quarter and Proctor maintaining a 30-20 lead, the defense has been decent.
It has.
And I'm not thoroughly convinced of whether it is the defense or the fact that Twin Valley just does not seem to be able to shoot the ball. Twin Valley definitely looks like it has some athletes.
There's one.
That's the...
He is the athlete. He's a heck of a player.
Nice ball movement against the press. Nice pass by Joe Valerio into Joe Parker.
Excellent.
Ball movement is pretty good this quarter.
Come on, we got to stay on the ball. On boards. Yeah, middle.
Foul on Valerio. His first, team's third, puts number 24, Brett Swanson, at the line for 2.
Hey, sub. Guys, we're in 3D. We got these guys every time. That man-to-man press breaker. You call it.
Swanson hits the first, pulls Twin Valley to within 9. Swanson hits both. Joe with the little shot in the lane on the up fake.
It's a big basket right there.
Extends Proctor to 10. 18 seconds left, and Twin Valley may be looking for the last shot. Interception this time by Joe up to Ojala with 10 seconds left. Goes all the way to the hoop and does not finish, but it goes off Twin Valley with 6 seconds left. Valerio calling the out of bounds play, and drops it in right at the final second. Proctor now pulls up to a 13-point lead. I believe they held
The biggest lead, isn't it?
That's their biggest lead, and they held Twin Valley to, I believe, under 10 points that quarter, which is a good effort.
Yeah, you're right. 10. Matter of fact, I can't remember them shooting that many times.
They did not get a lot of shots off. It seems that the zone is exactly what the doctor ordered in dealing with Twin Valley, because they really do not seem to shoot the ball well from the outside. I do think that they are you hear Coach Eaton yelling about it, but Twin Valley is doing a good job on the boards. They're just not converting any shots.
No, you can't make that bucket. It almost looked like they got a couple players and they look for them probably too much.
So they start the quarter how they finish the quarter with Proctor does with Ojala, Valerio, Landon, Greb, and McKieran. Oh, there was a walk.
Got a ball.
21.
Got 3, Dad. 3.
It's Logan Landon's third foul by the official book. Turnover by Valerio that time leads to a hoop. I think he was expecting a bit of a weave, and Proctor comes right back and scores, pushing the ball up quick, which is something.
I like. He's played very well.
The Proctor attacks as soon as they get the ball in bounds. You can't turn your head or take a chance to breathe. Twin Valley's not a bad team.
Hey, settle. Hey.
Coach Eaton calling a play. Proctor goes into the flex.
We'll run the weave a little bit here.
Gannon McKieran all the way to the hoop, doesn't quite fall, but Proctor stops the break. 24 is the shooter.
Yeah.
He's the one that they. Proctor running a high pick and roll with Logan Landon, and Gannon McCarron picks up the foul and will go to the line. Proctor up by 10 with 5:53 left in the fourth quarter. McCarron hits the first. And the second. Proctor extends to 12 with 5:53 left.
Oh boy.
Wow. You know, maybe it just looks awkward and he doesn't travel, but he looks like he's traveling.
I would have called it one. Oh my God.
That was a very interesting looking setup and shot, but it went down.
It did. Ooh.
Yeah, and see that's the only downside is that when that push is called for Nick, that ball is not coming out, and three people swarmed him and stuffed him at that point, and he had somebody at the foul line and somebody in the corner.
What's this?
Now 6 team fouls. Now Proctor's going to get to the line with every subsequent foul here.
Good call.
Absolutely. You don't want that. That is designed to trap on the right at the half court line. You want to get to the middle.
Yep.
Proctor, for the most part, though, has played a pretty mistake-free game. Up and down that time, or travel in today's parlance.
Prefer to call it a very tactical game. They made mistakes, but they scored when they had to.
And they've done all the things they need to do.
They haven't made a lot of foolish mistakes.
Lario sets everything back up and pass and screen away. Now Proctor's going to be at the line, and they're going to be going a lot for the next 4:18.
Yep.
Proctor still has 3 fouls before they get in the bonus.
Full timeout,
So far, it looks like a pretty workmanlike effort by the Phantoms. They could definitely be a little bit crisper on offense and do a better job on the boards, but They've done everything they need to do against this Twin Valley team.
I was very impressed with Andre. He's made some nice plays, made some nice hoops when he needed them.
Absolutely, and he didn't get a lot of time last year, but he's hung in there with the varsity program, and now as a senior he's starting and he's playing, getting his minutes.
And he'll get better.
Proctor breaks the huddle and comes back to Gannon McCarron shooting a couple of free throws. He'll actually be shooting the 1-and-1 at this point.
Hey, 1-and-1, big box here. Box.
McCarron beats his man to the ball.
That's great hustle. Hit in there.
Just off the mark.
Boy, he's warming up.
Yep. Ooh, and Ojala, that ball just...
Boy, Andre.
Nice rebound.
We're down, guys.
He definitely gets terrified in the open court when he has to dribble, but gave it up, and McCarron gets to the line again for another 1-and-1. Logan Parks, third foul. McCarron drains that one.
Big been making that first one.
And the second. Joey Parker getting ready to check back into the game.
Nice move.
Proctor resets with McCarron up top. Proctor in no rush at this point. With an 8-point lead and under 3 minutes left. This time Joe Valerio resets. Dishes the ball after the penetration, and but the tie-up on the floor turns into a Proctor possession. Joe Valerio swallowed up by a couple of Twin Valley players, and we'll go to the line shooting 1-and-1.
Who's got the shooter?
Misses the first of the 1-and-1. Next foul, Proctor will be in the double bonus. Their scorer now looking to be more aggressive.
Get it back out. Don't need to shoot.
Foul out top, and now Proctor's in a double bonus with 10 fouls, and I believe number 15, Dylan Howe, has fouled out of the game.
That's 2. It's a 10. It's a 10 shot. 10.
So with Proctor with an 8-point lead and a minute 49 left, Joe Valerio misses the first. And went for the hat trick.
Let me get it back, Nick. Don't let me get it back.
.115 left and Proctor up by 8. Coach Eaton imploring Joe Valerio to slow the ball down a little bit, just more calm down. That's the kind of freshman mistakes you expect to see to some degree. And Nick Ojala drains the first. He's going to be, Proctor will be shooting 2 with every foul for the rest of the game. And he hits them both.
I'm sure that freshman won't hear anything when he gets home tonight.
Oh, I doubt it.
Heads.
Look at that.
That's fine, Logan.
Terrible shot.
Hey, let's go. Good job.
Now 57 seconds left, and Nick Ojala goes to the line for another 2. Proctor now with a 10-point lead.
Hey, 41 Sky. 41 Sky.
Boy, it's a good thing you had that 10-point lead.
Long rebound. Joe Valerio with the kick over, and Logan Landon with the ball. Gannon McKieran on the outside. Now they're just standing there. Oh, turned around, he had a layup.
Yeah.
Proctor just taking time off the clock. Oh, Andre Greb does not want to shoot that ball. I don't care what he.
Stand there, wait.
And that's going to end this one. Proctor with a 48-38 finish to the game, and Proctor wins it in pretty workmanlike fashion. They did what they needed to do pretty much in every phase. Probably they didn't shoot the ball as well from the outside as they would have liked, and they probably didn't do quite as well on the boards as they would have hoped.
I'm going on record right now. They'll win probably 3, 4, 5 more games before the year's over, and maybe 7 or 8, maybe 10. No, they're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, and, well, you know, the biggest thing that Proctor has to overcome is their schedule. They were loaded up by Jake Eaton this year with a very tough Division II, Division III schedule. And it's not just, Vermont is an interesting place because there are plenty of Division II teams that aren't up to Division IV standards.
Yep.
Because they have players playing hockey, they got players doing other sports, skiing, and that kind of thing. And so all the best athletes don't necessarily gravitate to basketball. Where in Division IV, you pretty much have basketball, and that's the end of it. So when loading up the schedule this year, Jake Eaton made sure that he had some of the best teams in the state from any division on the Proctor schedule. Just
now,
over.
that twin field game, is that here or up there? There, isn't it?
I don't know. It may be on the.
No.
Not in here. Well, we'll have to get on the guy who created these programs. But I believe it's actually here.
Really?
I was looking at it the other day, and
you're right, because Williamstown is up there.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
And that Williamstown game is going to be something else.
Ooh.
The thing about Williamstown is they run and run and run and run and run, and that might be the one thing ultimately with a team that goes maybe 6-7 deep, where Proctor might have some trouble.
The coach's son, he's a good ball player. He's back. Well, nice working with you.
Yep, I was just going to run down the scoring, but the calculator is slower than one might expect, given the experience. Just running down the final scoring for Twin Valley. Hayden Reed did not score. Logan Park had 4. Dylan Howe had 3. Skylar Boyd had 7. Ethan Fox had 11. And Brett Swanson ended up with 13. 8 of those in the fourth quarter. For Proctor, Nick Ojala led the way with 17. Logan Landon had 6. Joe Parker had 6. Gannon McKieran had 9. Andre Grubb had 2. And Joe Valerio had 6. Proctor with 48 and Twin Valley 38. So we'll be back tomorrow night in the second game of the doubleheader with Proctor taking on MSJ. And we will see you then.
Very good.